Welcome back to Retail Therapy. My name's Will DeFries. In the studio with me today, Barrett Dudley. Barrett, how is it going?
It's going really well this week. I was just saying off mic to everybody sitting here with us that there's just a little buzz in the city right now. You know,
the autumn buzz.
A lot of just the Longhorns. They won the biggest game in the last 15 years, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but what's the high today? 90 degrees. This is fall, baby. It is here.
Stop.
It is happening.
Stop.
It is. I wore pants for the first time today in 4.5 months.
Straight up chilly outside.
They're linen pants now. So, because really it's this is this little tiny cool down is really when I start wearing normal people's summer clothes.
Mm-hmm,
You might think of them as your Michigan summer clothes. This is a little, I'm not, it's kind of I'm going in the closet being oh, this is like spring, summer, transitional, little long sleeve, little pant action.
It's nice to wear cotton instead of tech materials.
Right.
It's fun.
So I'm just jamming it all in to this week, where the high is not in the triple digits.
We have a massive episode today.
It's a big
massive
one.
episode
It's a
today.
big one. Speaking of buzzing, the studio is also just buzzing.
The studio's never been this full before. It's been a long time coming. We've been doing this podcast for, I guess, about 18 months now, year and a half. And it's about time that we had the significant others on the podcast. I'll introduce my wife, Sally. Sally, welcome back to Retail Therapy. I believe you've been on here before. If not, you've been on Sunday Scaries.
I have been on Retail Therapy before. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Took a sip of water right before you introduced me and definitely went down the wrong tube.
That's okay. We talked about this before. It's probably going to be somewhat of a chaotic episode today. Laura, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Is this your first podcast appearance?
It is my first podcast experience ever. So,
Laura's got a podcasting voice, though. It's very soothing. I'm putting it out there. I think we're going to get some feedback about how soothing her voice is.
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 10. How nervous are you for your first ever podcast appearance?
like a 7.
Okay.
Well, it's got to be a little easier because there are 4 people in the room. You don't have to carry the conversation. You don't have to be put on the spot. If you're put on the spot, we can figure it out. I'm feeling pretty encouraged right now. I'm a little bummed that we can't be sitting here layered up for fall season right now, but it's okay.
Well, you just didn't turn the AC down low enough,
I know. Someone called me out the other day because I posted a photo where I was wearing a hoodie. It was a very light, thin hoodie, but they were like, long sleeves, really? I'm like, I don't exist outside anymore. I simply sit inside and I wear what I want to wear and I feel good about myself.
I've actually been worried about my vitamin D intake recently, Just it's so...
Supplement.
What?
Need a supplement.
I might need a supplement of vitamin D because it's very important to overall health and well-being from what I understand.
Yeah.
And it's when it's, 105 degrees every day, it's just, I'm not going outside.
You only need 5 minutes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
5 minutes only?
But it's 5 minutes and 105 is still pretty terrible.
5 minutes is way too little. I feel like scientists out there need to just bump the numbers up just to get people outside more.
I
don't
think
want
it
people
might actually be
going
10,
out and being all right, 5 minutes.
Fudge the numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to just tell everyone it's at least 15.
I think if you are sunning your beehole, it's definitely on 5.
Well, that's probably a trend we've talked about on here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we have, but the other thing is that, I don't know if you know this, Sally, but sunscreen is toxic poison that we shouldn't be putting into our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a new TikTok revolution of Gen Zers who are actually going to tanning beds more and more. So we're thinking about following Gen Z and ditching the SPF and taking up tanning beds.
Do you think that they're going to make cigarettes come back?
Well, they're currently leading the Elf Bar conversation. So, I mean, Gen Z is pretty reckless. I like it. That's what you want the younger generation to be.
Do you think anybody at Burning Man is using any sunscreen?
Must. They must.
No, I feel like that is the crew that is waging the war on big sunscreen right now.
That would be a painful week if you wore no sunscreen.
I guess not if it was flooding.
That's true. This year, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think they're just soaking up. I think they're soaking up all the D at Burning Man.
Yeah, I mean, if I was at Burning Man, I'd probably people would be disgusted by me just spraying myself down with the aerosol can of the sunscreen, the banana boat.
Are we saying sunscreen's toxic to us or to the coral reefs? Is that what their argument is?
No. The current argument led by the people that I would have to describe as the believers in some weird pseudoscience. is that sunscreen,
The
like
Reddit science.
the Reddit science,
Yeah.
like the oxybenzone is like a poisonous chemical that you
Yeah.
should not be putting onto your body, yada yada. But all these people seem to ignore the fact that there's like mineral sunscreen out there that's just like
And
a
that
coating of
skin
zinc on your.
cancer is like the number one
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So
causing cancer.
I did cancel my dermatology appointment today to prepare for this podcast, and so I'm just down bad on the skin front. I really apologize to everybody, but I am doing something lately that is great for my skin. You guys ready for this? CeraVe. Very big fan. CeraVe is the number one dermatologist recommended skincare brand in the United States. They offer an ever-expanding line of therapeutic skincare products that are all developed with dermatologists, and all products from CeraVe contain 3 essential ceramides. Am I saying that correctly, Sally?
Yes.
There we go. 1,3 and 6,2 that help restore the skin's barrier for healthy looking skin. They just launched their hydrating foam oil cleanser. That's great for all skin types, but especially those with dry or very dry skin, thanks to its super hydrating ingredients. I actually never really washed my face growing up. It wasn't a thing I had to worry about. We got some CeraVe in the mail, and I was like, you know what? If I have it, I'm going to start doing it. And I was thinking about how I have dry skin, which I do because I spend so much time inside, especially with all this AC. And I just started using it, and I was like, okay, I've been missing out on this my entire life. This is a very soothing process.
we're a big CeraVe household right here. There's CeraVe all over the place.
I feel like I've been seeing them pop up more and more and more. And I have recently learned that people that are CeraVe enthusiasts, they ride for the brand harder than like any other brand. It's a very dedicated following. The cleanser foams to effectively break down and remove any stubborn makeup, dirt, or excess oils, or any impurities from skin. And the oil attracts oil. We all know this. So this oil-based cleanser works by bonding the oil and dirt buildup on your skin to help remove it when it's rinsed off. And it washes off without leaving residue for a non-greasy, fresh-faced feel, making it the perfect cleanser for a hot, sweaty summer Saturday night like we might be feeling at this UT game this weekend. The new hydrating foaming oil cleanser from CeraVe is available on Amazon stores nationwide, or you can hit the link in the description of this episode. Just buy it directly from there. We have so much to cover today. Today's going to exist as our fall fashion preview, our fall fashion episode, whatever it may be. It's the whole reason we do retail therapy in the first place.
It's just to get to the fall fashion.
Well, I mean,
right? That's what you mean?
Had I not invited you on to Sunday Scaries to talk fall fashion, we didn't see the absolute numbers that that episode commanded year after year. I don't think we'd be sitting here.
Maybe not.
We have to bring it for this episode.
Yeah, I was just Laura. We were talking last night, and you were saying that like September doesn't really feel fall to you. And I had to explain like, no, September that's when the people, they just start, they get antsy for it, and we have to start talking about it. We have to serve them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Texas, it's summer light. Not even summer light. It's still summer.
Yeah, it's still
but
summer.
October is summer light.
That's true.
But a lot of the country, and maybe we can talk about this later, but it's difficult to dress how you want to dress when you're watching like New York Fashion Week and stuff like that, when you know that people are able to layer or like put on a trench coat or do something, and we are battling 90 temperatures.
Yeah.
For me, it's hard to stomach like the splash purchases that I want to make when things start coming out, because I'm like, I don't know if I'll like this in 2 months when I can wear this heavy jacket or this fleece or something. And it just kills me.
You think that you think that your vibe might shift over the course of that 2 months?
That is correct.
Between when you buy something and then actually get a chance to wear it?
That is correct.
I feel that. That's kind of how I am. I feel like when I shop, I want to buy something I can wear now, not 2 or 3 months from now. So
yeah,
it's always hard to get into the fall spirit when it's still 102 outside.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, this week especially. I mean, I feel like this episode landed on the perfect September week because it'll probably be our coolest one.
Maybe global warming isn't real. You know?
That and the SPF, right? We're just we are fighting the good fight here. But I think we might also focus a little bit more on the women's side of the fall fashion today. And this is a request that we get a lot.
They want you to stop talking about ALD.
They want us to stop talking
Good, Randy.
about Ame Leondor, yes, about ALD, and bring on some female voices to talk about what y'all are seeing there, boots on the ground type stuff. And so it's very exciting to have y'all here to lend a little bit more expertise than Will and I can.
I also get the drift that next week's episode and maybe even the week after that, those episodes will also somewhat be around fall fashion in some way. So I'm not too concerned about the men's fashion right now, even though we will be inserting some stuff
plenty
there.
of time to mention ALD.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
Randy.
Thank you. Just keeping you fresh, Randy. Where do we start?
Can we just start with just like a quick, like, can y'all both, Laura and Sally, just give us like a little rundown of how you might describe your own personal style?
Yeah. So actually, I think Sally and I talked about this a little bit when we were in New York, but I've always had a really hard time defining my personal style, I feel like, or putting like a label on it. But I'd say probably not overly trendy. So I probably lean more into kind of more timeless pieces that will last for a few seasons. So I definitely kind of don't lean too heavily into like some of the trends that pop up that feel like they're just a one season thing.
You're not on the TikTok with the Gen Zers just mashing the like button.
Not so much.
I get it.
You didn't go all in on Tomato Girl this summer?
No. But Tomato Girl just feels like a way to brand a makeup look that just makes you look flushed, a little like sun-kissed.
Yeah.
So
I would actually say I'm the opposite. I give into trends too much, and I don't think I do it well. So what I'm saying is I think I have a pretty basic style that probably has evolved a lot since I've been with Will. When Will and I first met, I was like very typical mid to late 20s Texas post-grad girl, like wearing colorful, fun outfits. I have probably chilled out a little bit and gone more towards the classics, but then I am a sucker for trends and definitely get influenced. And then I don't know that I'm hip enough to like be at the forefront of anything. I'm probably a little chuggy. I'm just going to say it. Because I think being in your 30s and being a mom and living in a place that like is so casual. I think if I lived in New York or London or somewhere where I felt like I could really dress, but at the end of the day, I'm putting on scrubs. And then like my only time for really dressing is like on vacation or maybe going out here. But even then I'm pretty casual. So I'm trying. As I get older, I feel like my style is evolving to where I appreciate very classic silhouettes and investing in things that are going to last for a while and going to stay fashionable and trying to stick away from trends. But I catch myself every so often being like, I could probably pull that off, and then not pulling it off.
One of the things I was thinking about, kind of in that same vein, I get to wear more than scrubs every day, but it really like there just really aren't that many opportunities to actually dress like, in a way that you kind of have in your mind's eye here. And like I'm going into this fall season where I feel like I will be participating in the shopping aspect of it less than I ever have, just because money is going towards other things at the moment. Our wedding, mostly. It's like I've been thinking that I really should be occasion shopping, basically, like only buying something if it's literally for like if I know exactly when and where I will wear it. Is that like how you typically shop?
That's how I typically shop, and then it becomes problematic because I do a lot of vacation shopping, and then when I need to wear something to go out, I'm like, all I have is this bright Farm Rio dress that I wore in Cabo, and I can't wear this on a random September Friday to go to dinner with my friends. They'll be like, what the hell are you wearing? So I have really tried to reconcile that of like, I need to stop investing the chunk of my money on things like that and buy some more neutral things that I can like create an outfit with.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, yeah. I found like you might operate like this too, where like I have certain things that I will try to invest in that I know will last me winter to winter to winter, at least like 3 winters, because I don't wear it all that much. Like I'm thinking of like a nice cashmere sweater or something.
Right.
Where I try to get trendy is always like the stuff that doesn't cost that much, where I'm like, okay, I can take a risk here and just risk like $40 on a shirt right now. Yeah. Whereas like other stuff, I get too nervous to buy anything like outlandishly like bright or colorful or like on trend, because I just don't want to deal with the buyer's remorse the next year when I'm pulling out my fall clothes and I'm like, oh, cool, I have this ridiculous sweater that I bought for way too much money last year. And so I always just find like I feel like you are pretty good about doing the same thing. Where like you'll buy something that's a staple piece and hold on to it for a while,
Yeah.
and then maybe get trendy with like a little more fun stuff.
Yeah.
This is also a hard season for me in a sense that, as y'all are saying, you're saving money or spending money elsewhere. I am in a season of I am not going to buy clothes right now as I'm 8 months pregnant. And then the fall, I'll be postpartum, which is always a hard time too, just based on how my body is changing alone. So I am taking this season more as an observer.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really fun.
You've been upping your pajama game lately, though.
I have been upping. Shouts to Bumpsuit, the people who have been basically, I've been funding their whole brand basically my entire pregnancy because it's the only thing I want to wear. It's very hard to dress this pregnant in a fashionable way in general, I find, but it's definitely hard to do in the heat. So.
That is one, like I am trying to approach this season and find the joy in the voyeuristic observation.
It's like be a personal shopper for someone else.
Yeah. Rather than,
investing in yourself.
And yes, because my problem obviously is that I like to invest in things as well. I just like to do it multiple times in every single season.
Yeah.
I was preparing for this episode, and the way that I prepare for this episode to see like what is popular is I just go to a lot of the brands' websites that we talk about. I go to their new arrivals and I just say like, okay, what's in front of me?
Yeah.
And just doing that today, I was like, oh my God, I want to spend so much money right now. This is awful. Like I feel like I've done a pretty good job this year of not like really dipping in, but it's just been difficult.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anybody that you follow or that you look to, that you follow on Instagram or whatever social you might want that you just kind of look to and you're like, that really moves the needle for you?
Or even like a celebrity that is like if you could have anybody's closet, it would be this one. Like that, like aspirational type folks as well.
I mean, I think Sophia Richie's up there right now. What's Grange now? Right? Yeah. She's like the hot it girl. Everything she wears is cool. She looks cool doing it. Did you send me her bun tutorial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's been loving her bun tutorial.
I watched it on Instagram.
How can you not watch the bun tutorial?
Up on my Explore page, and I just sat there and watched a 3-minute video.
I know. I want to grow my hair out so I can do it. I saw a girl respond to it, and she was like, this is literally the greatest thing of all time. Thank you so much.
Have I ever worn my hair like that since I was not 8 years old, coming out of the shower, going somewhere? No. Am I about to try it? Yes. But I also, again, going back to being pregnant, my face is very fat right now. We're not in a good spot for me to try a slick back bun. And I'm a Texas girl. I like always have had curled hair, big hair. Like it's very hard for me to get on like the clean girl bun trend, but I want to do it so bad. Again, this is where I go back to like, I want to jump on the trend. Am I going to do it well? Probably not, but we're going to try it. She's up there for me. Everyone knows, or at least Will knows, that I love Jacob Elordi. Wow.
Is he your new Joe Burrow?
He is my new Joe Burrow. He is my new Joe Burrow. But like he's doing stuff for men's fashion that I think he's kind of like playful and I really enjoy. I've been loving his like purses that he was seeing with that Chanel bag.
I think he's the first guy ever to legitimately like
he's
make me think
carrying
in my head,
a padded cassette. I almost want to buy one.
I think I need a purse.
Yeah.
I'm so
Barrett,
jealous.
I could see you with a Bottega padded cassette that he has.
Well, somebody else might have a Bottega cassette on their wish list.
So
later,
do I. So maybe y'all can do a little share.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple other people that I often, ever since following them in the past, like probably 6 months, have been buying things that they're influencing me to buy. Both of these people I found via things I bought and liked, who I am heavily influenced by. Like anything she posts, I'm like, yeah, probably got to get that. I love Mally Goldman. She's a random LA girl. She's got a very good classic, almost like polo, little preppy, little trendy, girl next door style.
Which is this account? What is
her name's Mally Goldman.
What's her at?
Mally K. Goldman.
Her name's actually Mallory.
Mallory.
That's confusion when you search her because she has both on her profile, so it just makes it a little more difficult.
Okay.
And she's just got the like effortless, like stepped out, blue, like my, blow dried hair. And I just am like, she's got kind of cool girl vibes, but like in an approachable way that doesn't seem like you're like, okay, I can't pull off what she's wearing. Like she's just wearing like basic shit that is stuff I like. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a little bit like it. Laura and I have been listening to this podcast that has been probably suggested to you, to y'all as well, and we finally started it. It's Articles of Interest, and it's like her series on Ivy style, basically. But it's really like it's way deeper than that. It's really just about like trends in general, and but it's kind of leading with this idea that like that Ivy, which is adjacent to prep, never really goes away,
right?
And I feel like Sophia Richie is a little bit of that as well. Like it's all like Chanel and like the highest end version of it, or rather, but she's also like a new face of Ralph Lauren, right? So
right.
It all kind of tracks.
This girl will do some high end stuff, but a lot of her stuff is really accessible. Like, I mean, she, is a big proponent of these. Like, I mean, she's the one who I found my like favorite pair of Citizen of Humanity jeans from last fall. And she was a big pusher of the Boston last fall as well. Also influenced by her on that. Not as early as I should have been on that. But and then my last one is Courtney Grow, who is a mom. And she's got a very like laid back girl aesthetic. She's from Utah. You would never know it. You'd like think she lived in New York. And she has this saying that I kind of think is hilarious that like every outfit should be a little bit ugly. She takes probably more risks than I'm like willing to. I think that's something that like I would aspire to look like. But if I would never have the confidence to just like wear this out in the world. But I think for me, it's kind of a voyeuristic, like, oh, this is kind of fun.
It's like the man repeller concept.
Yeah.
Like there's something fun about dressing differently that like almost rubs someone else the wrong way.
Yeah.
But it's really pleasing on her. I don't get like, it doesn't really give me vibes of like the way that Man Repeller did, where I'm kind of like, okay. Like it's not eye roll.
Being super confident in it is always like, I feel like what shifts that over from feeling cringe,
right?
Or just being like, or kind of like pulling something off successfully.
Well, when someone like this, like wears something risky to a group dinner, like they walk in and own it and everyone's like, oh my God, you look great. Like when I wear something risky to a group dinner, I walk in and I'm like, I hope no one looks at my pants for a little bit so I can get my like grounds here, like get all nervous.
This summer this isn't even on the rundown, but she was really into the mesh shoes that like the row kind of started. And then a bunch of people started knocking off. And she talks about these mesh shoes a lot. And I'm like, have almost pulled trig on like $400 mesh shoes that
please don't.
I absolutely should not be wearing. Like my feet are like, I don't have cute enough feet to be wearing mesh shoes. Okay. So, but that's the type of cool girl that she is. You're like, okay, I'll get on the mesh shoe trend.
Are you saving gabwaller for later in the podcast?
I do love gabwaller.
Okay.
That was like a recent find in the last week.
You mentioned her earlier this week to me, and now I'm kind of obsessed because all right, I'm burying the lead here, but gabwaller, and there's gabwaller on Instagram and then gabwaller.com, which is her business. But she's basically like a product finder.
Yeah.
And so celebs and influencers like dial her up and are like, hey, I need this 2017 Gucci dress from the runway in a size 4. And like, it's nowhere to be found online. And she finds it.
Wow.
And so, she's everything from like, kind of like new drops. Like she was talking about and some Hermes sandal recently that is
it's like now in the shearling. Yeah.
And like she just for Tinks, who I know you're a fan of, Sally, like just sourced this Christopher Esper dress within like 15 minutes. She says.
So it's again kind of the voyeuristic thing of like she's ahead of the trends, but then she also is sourcing stuff for people, and you kind of get to be like, oh, I like this dress she got for Sophia Richie, where you're like, oh, I wouldn't even have considered that. It's kind of like peeking into other people's shopping carts and being like, oh,
right,
okay.
Right. But
Kind of digging that.
I'm also just like fascinated from like a how she's doing this. Like I'm
Yes.
dying to know what her secret is.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably just really good relationships with some of the designers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you get there.
But also, but that's been a very cool one as well. That's gabwaller.
Where do you get your inspo from, Laura?
Well, so when I was thinking about like celebrities, Morgan Stewart came to mind.
Oh.
I feel like her style is like really fun.
And she just launched line yesterday.
Oh, really? I
Yes.
didn't even know that.
Morgan Stewart McGraw.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know who is this.
So that she
who
was
is this?
Sally
she
can
was
say better.
Barrett's learning something today, ladies and gentlemen.
I love Morgan Stewart. Okay. Again, total cool girl style, like classic. She's not ever overly trendy, but like she looks good in everything she puts on. Again, very elevated, like kind of Ivy prepster. She was one of the rich kids of Beverly Hills. And then she is married to Jordan McGraw, who is Dr. Phil's son.
Which
Okay.
is pretty recent. She
And
also she was a host on I think E! News for
Yes.
a while.
Yeah.
Which is like, and then more recently she's just been
A hot girl.
basically.
Wearing clothes well.
I want that job.
Hillary Duff also came to mind. I don't know that she's necessarily like doing anything revolutionary, but I feel like she always looks really cute in everything she wears. So I always like to see what she's doing. And her style also feels pretty accessible for a celebrity. So
Yeah.
I like to kind of see what she's doing.
Hillary Duff is probably a good one as far as like the relatability because she is not 5'9"
Yes.
Correct.
and 112 pounds.
She's got like a real body.
Yeah.
She's wearing stuff that I would be comfortable wearing. Accessible is like the perfect word for her because she's wearing stuff that you're like, oh, I really like that. And now I want to wear it too.
Exactly. And not everything she's wearing is like
Totally
super high-end
designer,
and
yeah.
all designer. So
And if you don't like Hillary Duff, like just the doors
Get
over
out.
there. Like someone, just
Get
get
outta
out of
here.
here. I actually did an AMA. I think it was last week. I did an AMA on Sunday Scaries, and somebody asked for some female adjacent podcasts or avenues for style because we just don't cover enough female style. And I thought right now would be a good time to name some of these and get your opinion on them. Some of these guys might not have any idea about. Some of these you might hate. Who knows? But do you mind if I read off a couple of them that were popular?
Sure.
Have you guys heard of Forever 35?
No.
Okay. If we haven't heard of it, we'll just simply move on.
Okay.
We have Who, What, Where with Hillary Kerr.
I know who, what, where.
Someone said Lily Sisto. She doesn't have a pod, but she knows what's up. She has a solid Instagram.
Wait, hold on. Who, what, where is different than
We were what?
We were what?
Two
which
different
is
things.
Danielle Bernstein.
Bernstein.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Who does not have a podcast yet?
Who does not
That
have a
we know of.
podcast, and I cannot decide if I love her or hate her.
I'm in the same boat. I almost put her as like someone that I reference, but then also I'm like, sometimes I feel like she's so out of touch that
Correct.
I can't stand her. So I was like,
That's a perfect way to explain her. I think I see her and I'm like, okay. And then you're like, oh no. Like, I think she did some really cringy stuff during COVID.
We all did.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I know, but like very out of touch. Like,
She and Ariel Sharness,
yeah.
who was, what was her original blogger name?
Something Navy.
Something Navy.
Were both on that, like, there's so much money
So much wealth.
that they could not stay in touch with, like, the normies down here.
But their lines and their, we were what and something Navy, maybe elevated, but still geared towards normies. So when they're
Yes,
acting
yes.
out like this, you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
you got to stay in your lane, which is why I appreciate Morgan Stewart. Morgan Stewart knows she's elevated. Like she wears
Mhm.
designers only, and she's not going to try to like dumb down shit for you. She knows she's wearing Prada or YSL or whatever, and she's going to keep it that way, which is what stay true to yourself.
We've got Who, What, Where, which we just said.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Run Through with Vogue. I'm not familiar with that one, but it might be a little bit. It says not a podcast, but Jess Graves' Substack, The Love List. I actually do subscribe to The Love List. I can't totally vouch for it because it's not one that I click on every single time,
Okay.
but it was obviously good enough for me to do that. We have A Thing or Two with Claire and Erica. Said it's not strictly fashion. A lot of articles of interest. So you're right. That it has been a very popular one. Let me see. Someone said just bring Sally on.
Well, here we are.
But yeah, Vogue Run Through got another one. So those are some different resources. I don't have an answer for that because I don't really take in a lot of that content. So
There are a lot of female-driven podcasts at a network called Dear Media.
I think the Skinny
And
Confidential is like their
Confidential is
flagship one.
that I have heard, like when people talk about female-driven podcasts that are similar to ours, but maybe go more into women's style. Skinny Confidential seems to come up pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
But I've not.
They have so many podcasts on the Dear Media Network.
Yeah,
and
like
it's
a
all
ton.
very women centric.
Yeah. They also have the podcast that is, I believe they have this one. It's where Stephen Coletti and
Tristan Cavalier.
yeah, I think they break down Laguna Beach episodes, which I don't know how I haven't started that at this point because they had their first white party at the hotel where we got married.
Yeah.
They rented out a room. I was watching the pilot episode of Laguna Beach recently, and I was like, oh, I think I've been there. Sure enough, we had.
We got married there.
Speaking of engaging with social media and trends and aesthetics and all of this, should we talk about one of the latest to come across the radar, Will?
Yes.
Okay. Will you introduce it for us?
Which one?
Grocery Girl, of course.
Oh, we're talking Grocery Girl already. Okay, yeah. Grocery Girl Fall is apparently what's happening. Like we always do with these trends, we can't totally vouch for them as they are purely TikTok driven. And as our friend over at the podcast that you guys are listening to now says, only the trends trend.
That's the only thing that's trending is trends. Is one of the lines from the podcast, which is kind of accurate, I think.
This is essentially just like, I don't know. It says Tomato Girl Summer is turning into Grocery Girl Fall.
God.
Expanding to all produce items and bringing decor inspired by fruits, veggies, and condiments into the home. One of the more easy elements of this to describe would be the candle that is the corn cob candle that I think people have seen pretty much everywhere. There's something about it that makes me uncomfortable.
Do you think Velobox can hook us up with a corn cob vessel?
I don't know if that's what they specialize in, but we can at least
ask.
Yeah. I don't know if there's maybe we could do something that's a little more retail therapy driven. Maybe like a bowl of caviar or something.
Yeah, I mean,
but this is essentially just making everyday grocery items into home decor, which for me, I'm not that into.
It's too campy, I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just get a jack-o'-lantern. Do we need to turn our fruits into candles?
Well, I'm mostly. I mean, I pulled up Grocery Girl aesthetic, the evolution of Tomato Girl naturally, and I mean, my immediate question was just if you had to start a new aesthetic based off of a fruit or a vegetable, what would it be? So,
Oh shit. Okay. I mean, okay. You know what my new aesthetic is? This is my actual aesthetic currently. I'm just going to call it frosted mini wheat aesthetic because that's the only food I'm currently eating. And it basically is you in some sort of nightgown moo in your bed, eating a bowl of frosted mini wheats, watching some sort of murder show. That's the whole aesthetic.
Are you going like any milk or anything like that?
Yeah,
or just
obviously milk.
Dry frosted mini wheats?
Enough milk to wet
soften them up.
But not so much that they're swimming. The perfect amount of milk is that when you eat the last mini wheat, there is not even a spoonful of milk left because they've soaked up all
Right.
It's that, but you have a nightgown on, and then you're just in your bed.
Okay,
that's it. That's the whole aesthetic.
I have two that I'm gonna do.
Okay,
I'm in between eggplant core and artichoke core.
Yeah,
I don't know which one I want to go with, but I kind of like the green of the artichoke. I just kind of like the vibe of the artichoke, But I think the purple of the eggplant, and then once you slice that thing up and cook it a little bit, I kind of like the yellow and the brown. I think it just might be my palette for the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Laura? What vegetable are you going with?
Oh, I have no idea.
I've actually been. There's a listener I've been talking to. We've been talking about just like blue, maybe the return of blue.
Yeah.
So blueberry couture. Maybe,
Okay.
Just all
the
tonal
new iPhone
blues.
is blue.
I mean, there you go. Right, just nothing but navies and blute fits.
So instead of wearing all black, you're just in full blue.
Full blue.
Indie girls and indie guys?
No.
Okay.
It kind of works. It kind of a little gets lost in translation when it's like, oh, are you Barrett? You're into guy?
So you're like the blueberry girl from Willy Wonka.
Yes. Yeah. But in a right. Yeah. But in a men's fashion aesthetic.
If anyone out there is listening to this episode and they're like, I'm doing a hard pivot to what's it called? Grocery girl? Yeah. Like, I just don't know if that's a good move. Like, maybe slow play this and see if it becomes timeless.
Does everything have to be an aesthetic at this point?
Yes. For the sake of this podcast, it absolutely does.
Okay.
As long as there's new aesthetics dropping weekly, we are going to be very good in business.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's our aesthetic of the week.
Where should we go next, Will?
Actually, before we go anywhere next, let's hear from our friends over at Early Bird. You guys know what Early Bird is. You're very familiar with Early Bird. Early Bird gummies are a recreational hemp product that contains around 2.5 milligrams of natural THC and around 12.5 milligrams of CBD in each gummy. They're formulated for fun and to make you feel good. You can take these things really whenever. You can take it for a little buzz before going out. You can enjoy it before bed. I have to admit that I think I might get some of my best sleep, or at least how it feels, after taking one single Early Bird. They come in a few different flavors. They're just great. I mean, I think everyone in this room has tried it at least one time, and they taste good. They feel good. There ain't nothing wrong with them. They're an Austin-based company that's been supporting Wash Media from the very beginning. So we will ride for them just like they ride for us. And even if they weren't a sponsor of this podcast, I'm pretty sure everybody would be using our promo code for it. Right now, Early Bird does have a promo code. Get 20% off your first purchase with promo code, I believe it's Wix, at earlybirdcbd.com. Again, that is earlybirdcbd.com, promo code Wix. If that is incorrect, I will update it in the description of this episode. I'll make sure that it works for you guys. Where should we go? I think it's time to talk trends for the fall.
Trends for the fall. Let's do it. I'm going to start from the bottom rather than the top.
Okay.
How about shoes? How about footwear?
I'm very excited to talk about footwear because, again, as somebody who's pregnant, I'm not going to be buying clothes this fall. If I'm going to buy anything, it's going to be shoes or a bag.
Okay.
So those are the things that I have most at the forefront of my mind currently.
I have heard, you may have even said something similar, Laura, that flats are the only thing right now. The heels are out. Is this true?
It seems to be that the ballet flat is back.
The ballet flat specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm talking like ballet with a strap. Like I said this in my notes, but I will never, ever go back to the Tory Burch flat days of 2008 where we had a giant emblem on our toe box. I won't do it. But I think right now, most of the ballet, I think ballet flats in general are back in, but having a strap, even like literally there's a pair of Miu Miu ones that like have two straps that literally look like you could go perform on stage in a ballet in them.
Ballet core's been in for a while though. Like I feel like people have been loving the ballet vibe of everything. So this kind of makes sense to me that it would be like popular this fall.
I think ballet core in general it's again kind of one of those timeless things because like you always like look a little bit elegant, but I think that there was a time where ballet flats were like, okay, go to your 9-to-5 job in your Ann Taylor suit and your ballet flats. But I think it's very much coming back, and I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm going to be real with you. I hate ballet flats.
So
Always have.
Same.
I kind of agree. Again, this is a trend I can see myself getting sucked into, but I don't know that it does anything for me as somebody who's short.
I think
it's not.
Go ahead.
The rounded toe just like cuts your legs off. I feel like, and I just don't think they're very.
If I'm going to be wearing flat shoes, I would rather they be like sneakers or something with a little bit more structure and something going on. Ballet flats, again, this goes back to me getting kind of sucked into the mesh shoe thing that were also kind of ballet flat material. I don't do a lot for you unless you're like a tall, slender silhouette. Yeah. And I have too big of calves to really pull that off.
You mentioned like the 2007, 2008 Tory Burch flats with the big gold token on the toe as well. And I feel like not only that, but just like the ballet flat in general, to me is almost like the women's version of deck shoes or boat shoes for me, where
Okay.
like I cannot pull them away from one very specific era of my life,
Right.
and therefore like I'm pretty confident saying I just I can never go back to there. Can never go back to that place. And I that ballet flats, I picture them and I immediately just picture like a glued on pair of like 70% polyester jeggings, you know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
cropped right at the ankle, and then
Oh,
like
yeah.
the little flat ballet flats, and like you said, like very 9 to 5, like this is what you wear to work.
Yeah.
And I can't. I don't think that they. I
I
don't think
will
that
always
they're
feel
not
that way about a
flattering, they're
kitten
not
heel
cool.
as well. I can't do a kitten heel, and I think that that's kind of in as well. Like
I'll ride for ballet flats right now. I'll be the one. I'm okay with them. I'm very anti-heel most of the time because it's just not practical for like what I am looking for when I'm like with you. If we're going to be walking from like a restaurant to a place, I'd rather have you in flats and be comfortable
Yeah.
than like wearing heels and feeling uncomfortable wanting to take them off. And so I always like try to get you to wear flats, but if I'm going to be anti-heel, I can't be anti-ballet flat. Like that's just not,
Right.
it doesn't make sense. So I have to ride for them.
I feel like there are in the world of flats, I feel like there are a lot of like other things that are cooler happening. So I'm riding much harder for like the resurgence of like a T-bar Mary Jane or like a chunky loafer.
I am very into the chunky loafer. I don't love a Mary Jane in general. I've never
Okay.
really been able
Me
to
neither.
pull that off. That's not really my vibe. But I am into, and I never thought I would say this. I think I'm going to buy a pair of loafers this season.
Like
Like-
there's something that feels fresh about that because like it's
Fresh,
a little
but Ivy. I mean, we're going
Right,
back to
yes,
like this is
yes.
very typical. Like you would see this on a freaking Ivy League campus for some girl who's like from the Upper East Side who's going to, Princeton.
So are you keeping it traditional like penny style or like
I kind of am
going
into
to
the
something
penny
with
loafer.
like a lug sole?
I think I'm into like a penny loafer right
Okay,
now
all right.
because that to me feels probably the safest option.
Mhm.
There's again my girl Mally Goldman has one from Frida Salvador that's like a really basic kind of elevated because I think that there's a very big as usual range of like you could go there's some like YSL penny loafers that are insanely expensive and I'm sure Sam Edelman and Steve Madden have pairs that look exactly like it. I think I want something with a little quality. I also have always loved your Belgians that I think have a very good timeless.
Well, they're appreciating like art right now. So
Yeah.
if you're going to buy some Belgians from the Belgian, from Belgian, now's the time because the difference in price between when I bought them for our wedding to now is jarring. And I will ride for them because I love them and they're like my favorite shoe. But it's like, I mean, the price is getting a little out of control. So it's like, if you really want a pair of those, then you need to do it ASAP.
Sally, are you thinking black leather or are you thinking something like even like that leans even more prep like tan or suede or brown or something like that?
I think brown fits my wardrobe better, but I
Yeah.
think I need to venture into the black. Like I need to start wearing more black.
Barrett, do you recall my first wish list item from the year?
Yeah, you're the YSL.
The YSL
yeah, of course.
tortoise loafers. Like these still own real estate in my head. It's like it's bad.
Yeah.
I
The
still
women's
want
version
them.
is great too.
I think they're the same. I think what's on my wish list was actually the women's version.
Uh,
Well, Laura, you said that you're like flats. Everything's flats. What are you shopping for right now?
So I think I probably look for a pair of loafers this season.
it's flat, but it's not flat, right?
Yeah. I mean, you said you don't like kitten heels. I don't hate kitten heels. I've actually been seeing like a lot of pointed toe, like low heeled mules, which I've been kind of liking. And I'm only 5'2", so
Yeah.
I like a little bit of a heel because it gives me some additional height and it, makes my legs look longer. It's better for like jeans. So I don't know. I think that's probably what I'm looking for. Just some like lower heels that are more like versatile that you can wear.
Is it easier to style heels or flats?
I think it just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I think probably in the same vein as Laura, it's like having some sort of elevation. And this is where I go back to like a low heel,
No, not like that.
on a loafer or something gives you enough elevation that you don't feel like your just legs are just blobs. You know what I'm saying? Because even when you get a little bit of elevation, your calf like engages a little bit and it just makes your leg look better.
Yeah.
So I
totally.
think I think it's easier to style some sort of a heel.
Can we talk about the jeans over boots?
Well, we definitely have to talk about them. Yes. It's so. Let me tell you a quick story about how I've discovered this. I was helping somebody at work think about how to like fit denim into an outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I Googled like denim cowboy boots, like denim boots, just because I was like, I had I think I've seen something like that in my head.
Yeah.
Little did I know that not only are denim boots all over the place right now, but specifically denim over a cowboy boot as a boot.
I do not like this.
This is the more insane version, and these are Steve Madden, although I'm pretty sure they're a dupe of something.
I'm sure.
And then the other version I have, which I think are a little bit cooler, are the OG is an R13 boot, and I found this fascinating once I started going down the wormhole that. This is apparently such a popular style. And, we were talking up top about like the trendiest of the trends, right? So the R13 pair is $1,400 at the top. And then Steve Madden knocked this off blatantly and is selling it for just over $200.
The exact same boot.
One more level down, we can go all the way to Forever 21 and we can spend $40 to get the look. But this is a full-on, I don't even think I'm describing it correctly for anybody that's not watching on YouTube right now. But this is a cowboy boot that has a fake jean leg sewn to the top of it and is then like over the boot. So you would wear this, if you wore this with jeans, you would be double jeaning.
I don't think they're made for jeans.
Like this just looks to me like, you know how like all the jean fad right now is having like a waistline that's like just outside of your waist. This like is just like the leg version of that to me. Mm-hmm. It's such a like, are people wearing this?
Okay. Please go to our First Lady of Football, L'Oreal Sarkeesian's Instagram first picture.
Does she have these?
I hated this look. I remember this specifically and being like, this is not good.
The very first picture on her Instagram right now?
It's pinned at the top. Yep. She is wearing, this was last November.
Yep.
This is a kind of the same vein. Obviously, this is not the like fake jean cuff over a cowboy boot, but it is jeans
kind
that are the waist. I think you could throw this in the same vein. And I remember seeing it. She's wearing a denim trench. She's wearing denim shorts. I do think denim we can go into that in a little bit, having a huge moment. But she's wearing all this denim and those shoes like broke my brain. I hated them so much. I
think she was kind of ahead of the curve.
Yeah, she was ahead of the curve.
I think she was ahead of the curve. No, she definitely was. Because I remember seeing that. That was November 2022. So, and I was just like, no, this is not it. And then apparently it was it. It was it.
It was actually it.
That's why she's the first lady of Texas football.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Emrata is going to be walking down like the street in Soho any day now with a pair of these, and then they're going to like.
Is the only way to wear them with shorts? You can't wear these with pants.
I think you have to go shorts or like skirt with these, or like shorter dress type situation.
You've got to have. You can't be wearing a pant that you've got to see some knee. I think.
Yes. But this did make me looking at these made me think about how I'd say for like the last year, like Western boots and cowboy boots and women's have been trending.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that specific trend didn't actually hit Texas because cowboy boots are always being worn here.
Yeah, correct.
They're always part of the rotation for a lot of people.
So I didn't like I remember at a Howler work thing, we had some clients come in from Pittsburgh, and it was like a team of women that came in.
Yeah.
And like several of them were wearing like cowboy, like kind of exotic looking to up to the knee Western boots in like a very fashiony way.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like that happened here.
Well, I think that there was a moment. If you are a woman in Texas, you probably are up on the trends of like what's going on. So we had like the ankle boot situation. And then I felt like last year we pivoted. Laura, let me know if you agree with this. Like Lucchese started putting out knee-high boots again that were like really like, I think knee-high boots had a moment probably 5 years ago, and then everyone went to the ankle boot, and all last year, like Mirren Crosby, Lucchese, all of those people were doing knee-high boots again, like in a fashion sense, like almost like you would pull on a pair of Stuart Weitzmans or something, but these were cowboy boots. And I think for someone, again, who lives in Texas, who could have use for those, because we're gonna like wear them to a game and stuff, or like literally on somebody's ranch, but I don't know that I would be investing in cowboy boots at that level if I didn't live in Texas.
Well, so if we're not going to go full denim sewn into the top of boots, draping over your boots, and Western boots we already all have in our closet, where are we at on boots this year?
I'm still a big boot person, whether they're cowboy boots or like there is a pair of, in my Shop Bop hearts, Will hates when I shop on Shop Bop, by the way, that are just like some stud, like suede, actually low heel boots, the Wally boot, that I feel like you always have a place in fall. You can wear them with dresses. You can wear them under a long denim skirt that, again, denim. Hidden hard.
Kind of a kitten heel.
It is kind of a kitten heel.
Sally,
again,
here.
See, this is where I'm talking about. I will say I hate something, and then I will wear it like 2 minutes later.
I'm the same way, though. I feel like when I was thinking about outs for today, I was like, oh, but I'm going to say something's out, and then tomorrow I'm going to
wear it.
Buy it.
Well, the beauty of the in-out list is that you can say something's in and not partake in that, or you can say something's out and just be like, yeah, I still do this because I'm not in.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I a lot of the time when I start thinking about like the shift from season to season, summer to fall right now, I think about like what photos I see a lot online. Like there's always like Barrett, you and I have talked about the Jound image library, that kind of thing. And like there's always those kind of photos, those mood board photos that you start seeing popping up more on mood boards or on your Discover feed and things like that. And one photo that's been popping up all over the place for me has been a photo of Ralph Lauren who's just wearing denim on denim, standing out on the street. I think he's got like a book or something in his arm. But like I just see it so many places and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna end up doing denim on denim at some point during this year. Is denim just having like a big...
Yes.
It totally is. I mean, I did for the first time ever denim on denim earlier this year, right?
In New York?
No.
Oh, no,
In
to
Austin.
dinner and on. That's right. Yeah.
I rocked a job fit many a times last year because I had this Citizens denim shirt that I loved. And I was like, I'm going to wear this with jeans because I feel like it.
Are there rules for going denim on denim? Like I'm so denim shy when it comes to just my general wardrobe overall that like I just worry that I would not do it correctly.
I don't know that there's rules. I think it used to be like you want to stay somewhat in the same shade. You don't want to be so clashing, but I almost feel like that's kind of out now too because I think that dark denim is having a moment as well.
So for men's, like the kind of classic like easier way into it has been to go with like basically to go either if you're going indigo on top in like a jacket or a shirt, you go like black or a color of denim on bottom, or vice versa. So like a black denim jacket with like a khaki jean or something
like
like that, or something like that to really
dark jeans.
Yeah, or to really break it up. And then when you get too close to each other, then it's like you're almost trying to match. And so if they don't match, that's a little weird.
I think that the trendier thing now is to be more tonal and to have it all be kind of one color.
I agree. I think that
to where it's a true jout fit.
Yeah.
But I think had you asked me 5 years ago when chambray shirts were having like really in, that was like when we were wearing the light shirts and then the dark skinny jeans, you know? I think now it's better to have like a full-blown Justin and Brittany denim moment and just commit to all the denim.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you're gonna do it.
I mean, when you mention your jout fit, you went top and bottom, but I'd really like to see the women's full Canadian tuxedo. And one of the things that I've been noticing at a lot, like that. Look, this is 3 denim bustier tops on Revolve right here, all different brands. So it's this one and then these two and this more medium wash. So you can go full, you can go all the way right now if you want to.
And
you can trip it up.
match your accessories because a lot of designers are doing full-blown denim versions of their bags now.
And we can quad it up. We can get the boots. We can get the
you can
denim
get the
on denim
boots.
boots with the denim jacket with the denim
There are
bustier
definitely,
top.
I've seen some denim boots
Denim back.
that are better than those cowboy boots for sure.
Yeah. Some denim
so
boots.
there's some denim
Yeah,
options out there for footwear if you're really going for the all denim look.
See, and I don't know that I'm cool enough to pull off denim footwear.
There was a pair that I considered last year.
Yeah.
They were like booties. I can't remember what brand they were. But I decided
weren't they Saint Laurent?
I think I would
They might have been Saint
agonize.
Laurent. I decided I wasn't cool enough to.
I think
pull it
I would
off,
be like,
so
okay, I can
did-
wear this with one dress that I have, but I would never have the confidence again to be like, I'm going to put these with some jeans.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
where
what-
I trip up.
What about your shirt that gives pottery? Have you not worn that with jeans?
I have not worn that with jeans.
Wouldn't you consider that that shirt denim?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you just need to throw that on with your jeans.
Yeah. It's just for me. I've just always I've had trouble with jeans in the past.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a normal thing in my rotation. I grew up wearing chinos, khakis, it just was much more natural for me to do that, and so it's always more natural for me to go that direction because it's easier for me to do mentally than it is otherwise. And I think for a long time too. A couple of years ago, I was shopping for some jeans because I just knew I needed some for my fall wardrobe. And I was like, yeah, I'm not very good at jeans. I'm just getting this like inexpensive pair from blah, blah, blah. And then someone responded to me in a group text and was like, well, I would make the case that the reason you're not good at jeans is because you're buying inexpensive pairs from blah, blah, blah. And I was like, great point.
Yeah.
Like I need to actually step up and get some stuff that I'm pumped about rather than just hoping that I can get something that's on trend that works. And so it's just kind of like, I just need to find my place.
So what you're saying is that you've not tried a pair of jeans from Amélie Ondour yet?
No. If my pants experience with them, if I can apply that to denim, like it's gone with all my other purchases from their pants, it's just not going to work out. My body is not built for their pants. Just the fit of their pants. It doesn't work for me.
Okay. Look, I want to ask y'all about the cargo rave jean thing that's happening, but I'm pretty sure I know where both y'all are going to stand on this. So instead, I'm just going to move on to the thing that I think actually has far more staying power, which is the denim maxi skirt. Because I reported on Sally wore one in March at the retail therapy party. And I came back from my trip in Japan where it was literally everywhere. Like I feel like 5 out of 10 women were wearing denim maxi skirts. And if it's happening there, that probably means it's making its way here at some point. So what's happening with this? How did this take over? And am I right that everybody will have one in like 6 months?
You are correct. If you get on the Shopbop or Revolve new arrivals page, you will see at the minimum 5 denim maxi skirts, whether they have a slit or not, whether it's like a full-blown Mormon moment or they have a slit up the front like mine did. It's all over the place. We didn't talk about this when we talked about Instagram accounts, but I just recently started following literally yesterday, account called Data But Make It Fashion. And they literally take data from like search engines, things like that all the time, but during Fashion Week. And they posted something today that literally said that watching interest in denim maxi skirts dropped by 80% this week.
Dropped by 80%.
Dropped. And then the caption is, the earth is healing.
That's because everybody already got theirs, I guess.
I am shocked by that because I feel like this is everywhere. Like I said, I wore one. I wore it to the retail therapy event. First time I wore this skirt was at a rodeo, which felt a little bit more appropriate.
Was it an occasion purchase? Like, did you buy it for the rodeo?
No, I bought it being like, I'm committing to this.
All right.
And then I wore it to the rodeo, which felt like a good way to dip my toe in because I wasn't ready to like go full throttle denim maxi skirt. And then I wore it to the retail therapy event. And then I got pregnant and it has not fit me anymore.
I don't want to expose myself too much here, but didn't I try to steer you away from wearing it to the retail therapy event?
Yes, you did.
Sorry. That's a miss for me. I
Yeah,
apologize.
big miss. I am shocked by that Data But Make It Fashion thing that said the interest is down because I feel like we are going to see these everywhere this fall.
I just started following a similar account to that, and that's where I got the CeraVe information that like out of the repurchase, like the reports that they had were that the CeraVe repurchases were just crazy. I'm very much enjoying the analytics side of shopping lately.
Yeah.
We might have a guest on to report on some trends ahead of the holidays this year from Google.
Sunday Digest is going to be a hot one. There are going to be so many new Instagram accounts for y'all to follow.
Yeah.
So many pictures of rave cargo jeans that I'm going to make Will put in there. Where are you at on the Maxi skirt? Is this a cop for you?
Yeah, maybe. It took me a little while to warm up to this trend, honestly. When they first started popping up, I was really out on them. But I've seen it done well enough to probably try one. I don't know though. If the interest is down 80%, I don't want to be hopping on
That's
the
true.
trend.
That's a damning number.
Here's the
Right
thing.
as it's out.
These ones are like giving literal Amish, like I
True.
am on a Western ranch in like the 1800s. I think the one I wore was from Mango, actually. And the original one I wanted was black denim because I felt like that was like less egregious. And then I just committed to the denim. But I think having some sort of slit in the front or the back makes it a little bit more accessible. Like maybe you're just wearing a skirt versus like you're going full blown Little House on the Prairie. But again, I feel like I think we're going to see this everywhere this fall. And then maybe people will be over it.
I do. So just I'm gonna loop back to the boot talk again real quick. I feel like the Stuart Weitzmans, right, were so hot for so long, the flat and the heeled version, and they're very snug. They kind of they kind of hug the leg and then go over the knee.
Yeah.
And I feel like the difference right now that I see in like a knee high or just below the knee boot is that the shaft is like loose around the leg.
Yeah.
That structure.
Instead of with structure.
It stands up on
It
its own.
stands up on its own instead of like hugging the leg like that. That's like the biggest thing that I feel like is the kind of difference between now and 5 years ago, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the type of boot that I picture with these like denim maxi skirts is like a boot that is maybe not Western because then you're going to lean really into like that like Yellowstone territory.
Right.
But some type of like animal print embossed leather structured boot. Maybe it has like a snip toe or a square toe if you're going really edgy with it. But like that's kind of what I have in my mind.
I think that's how that is how I styled it. Although my boots were a little slouchier, but that is how I've seen it styled a lot.
Yep.
And that's a look I like. The Stuart Weitzman boots I think will always probably come back.
I don't think that they're out. It's just not.
But
like that's
the way they went out is because they became Christian Girl Autumn.
That very fair. Yeah.
Which I feel like ballet flats also kind of fell into that category.
Yeah.
So,
The Christian girls got their hands on it, that and wide brim hats. Just killed it for everyone.
They did, yeah. It did ruin wide brim hats for a significant part of the population.
And tartan scarves.
Yeah, it's just like what the hell.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Well, did it also ruin skinny jeans? And how did the two of you conquer that?
R.I.P. to my skinny jeans.
Do you miss them?
Yeah, I do. Because last year was the first year that I was like, okay, I can't be wearing skinny jeans around. I specifically remember actually the moment that I realized I couldn't wear skinny jeans anymore. And it was last January. We were going to Rhodes's birthday party and I said, are skinny jeans chuggy? And you were like, yeah. Yeah, you got to stop. And I was like, cool. Well, I'll go off myself now. Actually, it was his first birthday. So that was 2022. Yeah, so it was last January.
Yeah.
Of 2022. Then last fall, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I still require at least a mid-rise waist. I cannot do the low rise baggy jeans. And I know that that's Gen Z.
Yeah, the low risers are not retail therapy listeners, I fear, at this
think that's
point.
probably accurate.
They're a little young for this program, I think.
I don't have the body to pull that off anymore, unfortunately.
But I feel like that's part of the allure of low rise jeans. It's like part of it is like rubbing someone the wrong way by showing like, hey,
your love handles.
Yeah, like I honestly feel like that's a part of it. Like I feel like there's some people that like actually want to have that like kind of make someone notice them and take note.
Yeah, I just feel like low-rise jeans kind of accentuate the like widest part of your body.
Yeah.
Which I also kind of feel about skinny jeans in like hindsight, like,
Yes.
looking back.
Looking back, I had massive hips.
So I kind of appreciate the shift, but it has taken me a while to like adjust my wardrobe because you don't think about it. We had to like change all of our pants but then you also have to like swap out all of your tops.
Yes.
Because those tops that work with skinny jeans no longer work with like the baggier jeans. And so it was basically a full wardrobe overhaul.
Right.
That I am still working through. But
That's what you and I were
it's okay.
dealing with like last year. It was like,
Tiny
I can
top,
buy
big
some
pants.
baggier pants, but I don't have the tops. Like now this winter is finally the time when I can actually wear some clothes that aren't like, more tailored and stuff like that. And I'm excited to actually go in with a little more wide layering this fall.
How many like flowy oversized tops did you have to get rid of? Because you cannot wear that with
the baggy jeans.
baggy jeans. So
No.
then you're like, okay, well now I have to get a fitted top. You're totally right. You had to redo the whole wardrobe.
Yeah.
But doesn't this feeding in a little bit to the jean cargo, like rave pant, tiny top kind of look
Yeah.
too? Like like a Brad style?
And I mean, I think I'm kind of having fun with the rave pant cargo because it's so very obviously something that won't stick around for very long. It's just kind of like it's a trend that looks cool and fun right now, but like
It's very like
don't spend $400 on a
Yeah.
pair of rave cargo
Gwen
denim pants if
Stefani.
unless
2000 Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
unless you just have it like that, and then in which case go for it. But like, not an investment place is
Right.
what is what I'm saying.
Buy the H&M version.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like this is actually a great little segue into a listener question about that kind of revolves around this. But yeah, I do think that like the dominant look right now for women is big pants, small top. Like that, if I just had to like boil it down to like what the look is, that's what it feels like is just like the through line right now. And I feel like it's happening in men's a little bit as well.
I think so too.
And it's the shift, the kind of the paradigm shift affects the entire wardrobe because it's like with baggier pants for guys, you can't do a baggy top. Your t-shirt and your tops need to be a little bit shorter. They need to be a little bit more cropped.
I almost said that because that's not something I like registered.
Yep.
And you just said it as I was thinking it. Like, yeah, the one thing that I've had to do is have shorter t-shirts.
Yeah.
I've actually cut some t-shirts that are really long because it just looks so sloppy to me.
Right. Yeah, and so our listener question revolves specifically around this pair of pants from Abercrombie. Laura, I know you've been having a lot of success with Abercrombie over the last couple of years.
That's encouraging.
And this is the Sloan tailored pant, which I feel like a lot of our female listeners are just going to be like, oh yeah, I know that pant.
Uh-huh.
It's also, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a dupe, but it's like the Reformation Mason pant
Yep.
is like a more expensive version of this. And I'm sure that there is a more expensive version of that one as well. But her question was basically like, does this type of pant here? I'll pull it up to read it because I think she was specifically talking about like a work environment as well. But she says, for the gals, do y'all have any recommendations on what tops to wear with the Abercrombie Sloan tailored pants? I bought a bunch to wear in the office, and I feel like the big pants and tighter small shirt are still the norm for women's fashion. But I'm very insecure about that look and don't feel comfortable wearing tighter, smaller shirts, especially at work. But I feel like wearing a looser shirt with those pants makes me look way too boxy, so I'm totally lost on what to wear here. Any ideas? And
Well,
how
and
do you do the bigger pants but not basically wear a crop top?
I think you have to wear a fitted. I like, for me, the way I would style these is like with a fitted tank top. Obviously, we can't be wearing that in the office. So like a fitted t-shirt, like an elevated, nice t-shirt, like plain, solid color. And then exactly what this girl's doing. Pants, belt, throw a sweater around your shoulders.
Yeah.
So that you have some volume at the top. You don't feel like you're just like fully like sucked in at the top. I love the sweater or cardigan over anything. That just makes it easy. But you can't be doing the slouchy sweater like tucked into the top of these. That'll look way too sloppy, or you just will lose all your shape, because the whole point is to accentuate your waist, and you need to be wearing something that's gonna show that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could opt for even a flowier blouse, but it needs to be like more fitted to your body than like an oversized something. Like
Could you do a bodysuit?
Yeah, I was gonna say a
Yeah.
bodysuit's a good option if there's some that out there that aren't too tight. So I would say a bodysuit. Although menswear, I know like we're not looking for something boxy, but like menswear inspired like looks for fall seem to be very popular.
Yeah.
Like the button downs and with like trousers are super on trend. I think the main thing is you probably want to be wearing a belt
Yeah.
always to kind of like bring that like focus point to your waist.
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody who I have love handles. I'm not opposed to talking about my love handles, but I enjoy wearing a belt because I feel like it almost just like keeps everything like there. Like it's just it just like almost is like, I mean, I know belts are supposed to keep things in place, but like when I don't wear a belt, I feel like it just looks sloppier and things are moving around more. I feel like a belt just settles my outfit in more, and it's just like it's just a necessity for me. But I'm also not wearing tight pants. Like
I definitely think where y'all went with like the kind of the tailored shirt is maybe an option here too. I'm just pulling up my saves on Instagram, and I feel like I've saved several women's looks that are like a blousier kind of menswear inspired Oxford or dress shirt, but then it's like tucked into that high waist. And I don't think that to go back to these trousers, like they're not yet they have a very wide leg, but the top the kind of the top block is still trim enough to where like I think you can get away with something a little bit blousier on top.
Yeah.
If it's tucked in or cropped or cut by a belt, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think your suggestion is also the right one, which is if you do go tank top or bodysuit, which is like a little bit more form fitting up top, then like the office is a perfect place to just like layer with something with a cropped cardigan or short jacket or something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the people out there with office sweaters.
That's right.
Like me.
Oh man. Speaking of outerwear.
Let's dip into outerwear. Outerwear is my favorite part of fall fashion, if I'm being honest. I love a jacket.
Who doesn't love
layer.
a lightweight jacket?
It's just the best.
Laura doesn't love one because I don't think you own one. Not to put you on blast or anything.
It's definitely it's a gap in my wardrobe for sure.
Are you eyeing anything in particular? Or like is it bombers? Is it liners? Is it fleece? Are we going trench coat? What are you seeing out there?
I don't know, honestly. Like I feel like I'm seeing a lot of blazers.
Yeah,
and, like,
blazers still.
Particularly like menswear, like 90s inspired blazers, which aren't really the vibe I'm going for. There've been some like more utility style jackets that I've seen through like Cezanne that I think are interesting.
Like kind of like chore coat-ish work jacket. Yeah.
Yeah. But having like those lighter pieces of outerwear, things to layer for fall is definitely something that I'll be looking for this year because it's a big gap in my wardrobe. I have summer and then I go straight into winter. I have this big gap for fall. So usually around November, December, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of guys these days, and I'm mainly talking from personal experience, like I will rely on like a chore coat to wear out as like my light jacket. Is there like a female version of that? Like I don't feel like chore coats are like really in that realm.
I think that there's a lot of chore coats for females.
There are. See, that's one of those things where I just don't look at it, so I have no concept for it.
So I feel like the go-to is probably still a denim jacket. That's what
you do a lot.
And that is the one piece that I feel like that you have and were able to go to a lot over the past year. And again, it's just like the fit is a little bit different. It's like less like your classic like slim Levi's and more of like a drop shoulder with a crop and maybe some type of funky detail on it. But I feel like that's kind of the equivalent to the men's like workwear chore jacket. But
Morgan Stewart's new line, 3 things, and one of them is a chore jacket that's unisex.
Okay.
And I really like it.
Get it.
Might be on my wish list.
Price pending.
Yeah.
You can buy whatever you want. I don't really care.
3 people emails me a lot and tells me that their jacket is the it jacket of the season.
Okay.
So they've got that going for them.
I tend to not do a transitional jacket, and I go for like the sweater.
Okay.
Me too. Cardigans are usually what I default to.
It's pretty easy in Austin
girl.
to default to that if you don't have like a light jacket. Just for everybody.
And Sally, you are you specifically looking? I think you mentioned off mic is a polo one, a Ralph Lauren cable knit.
People are saying this is the cardigan of the.
Do I have the right one pulled up?
Yes, that's the one. I don't know that I. Again, this was a Courtney Grow, Mally Goldman like influence. I don't know that I want to cop this. I haven't decided. I think I'm more into the Kate cardigan. But that's obscenely expensive.
Yep.
I do like the way, again, this is like a more fitted cardigan. So if you're gonna go like baggier
I was just about to say
pants,
this is like the perfect cardigan to go with the pants that we just talked about.
It's true.
right.
Yeah.
This is a great option because you still are getting some sort of form, but it's not like skin tight.
Is there any movement in the women's space for corduroy these days? I feel like men's stuff
Big in
has been
men's,
just
very big in
everywhere,
men's.
and
Yeah.
I don't shop for women's clothes enough to know about corduroy making an appearance.
I think it always makes an appearance in the fall, but it's not having like an insane moment.
Yeah.
I feel like
think it
for
is
men right
men's.
now, it's like I feel like I'm seeing just more. I mean, corduroy hats, obviously, corduroy pants are something that like are just have been around forever. But I feel like the micro cord shirts are becoming more and more popular, and like finer corduroy hats and stuff. I just feel like corduroy's happening.
It is definitely one of the biggest things happening in like men's fashion this fall.
I have a question regarding the jean skirt that I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
Do you wash those? Like, you know how like people don't wash their jeans? Like, what do you do with
That's
your
a
maxi
good
skirts?
question.
Like,
I washed mine,
Oh, you did? Okay.
but I also had been at a rodeo in it.
I saw a mood board photo the other day. I don't know where this photo was originally attributed to, but it just had on the inside the person they wrote in permanent marker on the pocket inside the dates that they had washed their jeans, and in like 4 years they had washed them like 5 times. And I was like, I love that. I'm just very anti-washing jeans. Anyway, we can go back to outerwear.
I mean, look, we're name dropping cable knit cardigans and striped menswear inspired shirts and penny loafers, and I'm just like I'm pulling up like new arrival outerwear on Abercrombie, and we've got like Chanel inspired tweed short jackets now. So I think our articles of interest podcast is like dead on that. Like Ivy is like
Yeah.
It
kind of
feels like the 90s again.
permeating
Like, it truly feels like the late 90s.
permeating the culture.
Yeah.
Now the biggest drawback to this, like to what we're pulling up here, is that I don't know how well these things go with your cargo rave denim jeans.
It's true.
I don't
It's true.
think they pair great.
It's true.
It's a hard.
Yeah,
They can't.
yeah,
They don't really reconcile with each other.
Yes. Now, but to coincide with this is also like the emergence of late 90s, early 2000s Y2K style, which is like I don't know if y'all caught any of the VMAs last night, but I'm feeling very good about my frosted tips after NSYNC reunited on stage.
Big. That's big for you.
And yeah, it's almost like those two things don't really talk to each other, but I feel like that they do in like the way that they're opposites. Like one is like really sloppy, like streetwear looking, like everything is baggy and oversized and kind of in your face and bright, and then like the other half of that coin is the other side of that coin is like very refined, classic,
Polished.
polished. Yeah.
I think that is one of, not to give too much away for people who want to listen to articles of interest, but one of the points that they make is that these oppositional trends can and tend to like coexist a lot of times. And I think we're seeing that more than ever, where we're seeing like multiple aesthetics that feel completely different.
Yeah.
Like all being popular for this fall. Like I'm seeing florals, and then I'm seeing like gothic,
Yeah.
and it's like feels completely opposite, and like
It feels like high school again. Like
does a
I
little
feel like
bit.
in high school, like I mean, it was like you had people that dressed preppy, you had people that dressed like skater, like more
Mhm.
baggy, then you had like goth kids, and it's just like I just feel like that has been. I feel like everyone in our age bracket has been drawing from like high school again. I know I am. I mean, I'm doing it a lot these days. And just seeing the
Skater
things
core.
online, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I definitely saw like these in magazines, like low-rise jeans and stuff. I mean, it's like the whole, like Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan,
Yeah.
Paris Hilton stuff. I mean, it's just very throwback.
Should we move on?
Where are we? We have the messiest way of going about today's
We
episode.
went from the bottom. That was not helpful.
No, I was just making a joke.
No,
by saying
he was talking
you're
about
starting
going
with
from the bottom of
shoes.
the body,
I
not from the
literally
bottom of the
started-
rundown.
I
I
thought we
did go in
started-
order of what
Okay.
we
Yeah.
had of what we had written down. It's just I think we've made our way through. We talked denim. We talked we talked outerwear. We talked shoes. We talked some of the kind of like overarching broader trends. So I mean, might be time to talk about wish list.
What
items.
did we have any ins and outs from the ladies?
That's okay. Yes, good reminder.
That could have been devastating.
We cannot miss those.
Did you guys prepare any ins and outs?
Almost skipping that.
I do have a extensive list of ins and outs, but I'm going to just only share a couple.
Yeah, share the most topical.
Out number one for me, RIP, is the skinny jean. That's
Like, is no one buying that you hang out with right now?
No.
No one's going back.
I haven't even seen it on any new arrivals. Like, I haven't seen a single skinny jean in
TikTok
several
won.
years.
TikTok won.
Yeah, they won. A lot of this stuff we've already talked about. I think a couple more things that are in. I do think we are entering season 2 of Birks still being in, which I'm very happy about.
I think Birks are normalized at this point. For
I think
me.
they're normalized, but I think they were. I think there was a moment when the Bostons were out of stock last year, and then they came back in stock, and everyone was like, "Should we even buy them? Like, is this going to be over?" I still think they're in. It's like I think that they have solidified the Arizonas and the Bostons themselves into fashion for the foreseeable future. The other thing, this is another shoe trend, is Chelsea boots. I think are in this fall, but there's a lot of different brands. I honestly, most of them look like the Blundstones that we have, just an elevated version.
I
like,
struggle with a
tags.
true Chelsea boot. That's one of those things where, like, you were talking about ballet flats earlier, that
Mhm.
feels like it cuts off something. Like, for me, the way that a Chelsea boot looks on my foot, it's just something I can't look down at.
Yeah.
It's like Barrett when you were talking about the 550s last year.
Mhm.
Like, it's one of those silhouettes that you look down at it and it's like, this
Right.
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, the Chelsea boot trend over the last like couple of seasons has definitely been honestly easier to pull off because it's like chunkier, wider toe. It's
Mhm.
less like the classic British, like Cuban heeled, very sleek.
That's what I couldn't do.
Slim silhouette.
I can do a
Now we're in, like,
Blundstone.
now we're more so referencing
think a
like
chunky, almost
Bottega
combat.
tire Chelsea boots
Yeah.
and like combat soles and that type of thing.
There was something on this list earlier that I actually really wanted to touch on that had to do with footwear, and it was the lug sole loafer. Like, is anyone doing that? Do you have any friends that are buying lug sole loafers? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I do know what you're talking about. To me, those kind of feel like
Oh no, I hate that.
Mary Jane's in that they're both kind of playing into this like Wednesday Addams kind of aesthetic
Yeah.
that's happening.
Would
Which-
you think differently if you were walking to work in snow and like sludge every day in the middle of
Probably,
winter in New York
maybe.
City? Because like ALD, Randy fell asleep over there.
It's a long podcast.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. Like ALD put out a loafer that I love, but it's got the lug sole on it, and I'm like very hesitant about doing it because I'm like, I don't need that utility, and I don't like the look when I'd rather just have a normal sole on it. And
Mhm.
so it's like,
I will say I have a pair of lug sole Chelsea boots, and I have to think about like what I'm doing when I'm wearing them because it's like wearing ankle weights.
yeah,
It's heavy to walk. So if I have to walk a long distance, those are not the shoes.
that
to
makes
do it
sense.
in.
That makes sense.
But I think the lug sole Chelsea boot is like what's making them more current. Exactly what you were saying, Barrett. They're like a little chunkier, able to like kind of put some juxtaposition in your outfit.
Yeah, I remember you and I talked, Laura, a little bit about like I really liked this this. I think this is from last season. These are Isabel Marant and they're white lug sole with like a tassel, like a kilty. Like I kind of like the lug sole loafer, much like you said earlier for yourself. Like anything that's trending that has a giant sole on it and like adds 2 inches to my height, like I am very here for.
I didn't even think about the height side.
And so I just like I always like women's looks that kind of push an edge to them or something that kind of borrows from menswear a little bit. And so I think that the lug sole is just kind of cool in that way.
Yeah,
There's
those
there's
there are
something
levels though.
there's something that has like gravity to it with the lug sole. I don't really know what it is, but it's just kind of like I'm here and I'm not moving because I can't because these are
It's
heavy.
the weight.
Yeah.
It's your
Wha-
feet
wha-
being drawn to the ground
One of-
by the weight.
One of the things that this makes me think of, though, is again a Texas weather thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I think about how I would style those on somebody, it's less with denim and it's more with like shorts or a skirt or a dress.
Uh-huh.
And like when we are in that mode here, it's with like y'all are wearing open toes,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Open or sneakers. It's like all about comfort, maximizing that because it's typically 90 plus degrees. And so some of those kind of like, I feel like some of that stuff gets lost in our absence of transitional seasons, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Did you have any ins and outs?
I think we talked about a lot of them already. But one thing that I've noticed is red is like everywhere.
That was on my other ends list. Good
It's-
job.
So I
Not
think-
good job, like she didn't come up with that, but I literally had the exact same thing written down, like
Yeah.
pops of red.
Well, not even pops of red, like entire like bright red like outfits. Like
Route
so
fits.
I think
Route
like,
Outfits. Okay.
red is
Okay.
in. It's in like really bright red, which is you
The
don't
strawberry
typically
core or like cherry core.
Tomato girl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
You
it's
just
the
still
Fancy
tomato
tomato
girl.
No tomato girl. But it's definitely like a lot brighter than what you typically see.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I've seen some things about like this French girl aesthetic for fall. Although I feel like I see that every fall. Like
Yeah.
I think in fall we're just like we want to be French.
Yeah.
So, but I think it ties in a lot with like the loafers and the Mary Janes and like the footwear trends that we're seeing we're going to see a lot of that kind of like French influence on clothes for women. And then also I've noticed a lot of sheer tops and sheer dresses, which I don't think is anything new. It's kind of carrying over from summer. But I think we're going to continue to see a lot of that, like sheer material.
I didn't wear my mesh polo once this summer.
Wow.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Why was that, you think?
Too
I don't
concerned
know.
about the
I think
nipples.
it's a warm one because it's pretty thick gauge in terms of
Yeah,
like what it
yeah.
is. And so even though it looks summery, like you still can't wear it in extreme heat. It still
Mhm.
needs to be something that you wear. But now I'm like, wait, like even though it's warm down here, like it's not the vibe to go wear like nipples out shirt at a restaurant right
Wear it
now.
on Friday when we go to dinner.
Maybe I'll just wear it to the UT game.
I mean, it's a good job you're going back to Italy next summer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, like I'm not getting rid of it before we go
Right,
there because
right,
like
right.
that's where I can really wear it and not care.
You know, I did want to. I wanted to pop in one more listener question before we get to any
Wish list.
wish list editions, and that's just to talk about wedding stuff a little bit. And you have like a good, I feel like, thing that you do when you're picking something for a wedding. But that basically the question was like, how do y'all approach picking what you're going to wear for a wedding, getting dressed for a wedding, adapting to like vagaries within dress codes, and then specifically, I want to talk about just like black tie for a second as well. But but wedding guest. How is that tackled? What's the first place you go when you're like, I got to go to a wedding?
Oh,
The normal sites, Revolve,
probably
Shop Up.
the normal sites. So Shop Up, Reformation's a good one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the first thing is to always follow or like check for the dress code and any like advice that the couple has already provided, and try to stick to that as much as possible. It's definitely hard. I mean, I've definitely gone to weddings where I'm like, oh wait, I'm not dressed appropriately for this. So I understand.
It
It's hard.
really bothers me when people have really ambiguous dress codes.
Mhm.
Like I know what black tie means. I know what black tie optional means. I know what like summer casual means. But when you do like
Snappy casual.
snappy casual, honestly,
subjective.
I went to a
Trying
wedding.
to think of one that wouldn't be me like shitting on someone that's recently invited me places.
No,
like,
I went to one.
I feel like a wedding I'm thinking of, and I'm like, I can't call that.
No, this is a perfect example. Like my sister is gonna have a wedding party, and she's like, "What do I call it?" Like, I think they went with downtown chic, and I'm like, I get like, just is that like Friday night downtown? I think people just like don't want to be like cocktail. Can we just say cocktail? Like, let's be done with it.
Yeah.
I think that confuses your guests. So like I would rather be told like wear black tie because then I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So just make it easy on your guests. Just
Okay,
have
let me pivot to black tie real quick. We are having a black tie wedding,
love a black tie wedding.
and and I do actually think that there's sometimes some confusion with black tie because sometimes black tie seems to allow for shorter dresses for women, and I don't totally understand when or why that is. It's not formal. That's not the rules. Black tie, I think, means long dress. Am I accurate there?
Yeah, typically
Okay.
black tie indicates a floor length dress. I think you can get away with like midi or like maxi lengths.
I actually disagree on this.
Do you?
I think it depends on the dress.
Mm-hmm.
I think you
Totally
can pull
depends.
off a short dress, but it has to be a very specific type of short dress. And I'm talking like it needs to be probably embellished with some sort of like you can wear a short dress if it's like an over the top short party dress. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that gives off the like we're still going glam for this wedding.
Right.
You can't just wear like a plain black short dress. That's not it. You can wear a short
Yes.
dress that's got like some sort of embellishment on it. Maybe it's like, I feel like I've seen this done well at like black tie events where people just have something that's so overwhelming that if it would have been a long dress, it would have been like way too much. But it needs to have something special about it. It needs to be beaded or, bedazzled or something fun and colorful. You cannot just be wearing like a willy-nilly, like whatever short dress. We're not doing like solid colors. It needs to have a wow factor. And then you can pull off, I think, a short dress or a jumpsuit even. But it needs to have a wow factor. Otherwise, you got to stick to a long dress, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Well, okay. Give them your wedding wedding rule for dresses.
So typically for like when I'm picking out a dress, I try to limit it to like one like body part that is like the focus, which sounds weird. But like if you have like a low cut dress, maybe it should be longer. If you have a short dress, like higher necklines. If you have a backless dress, it should also probably be maybe a little bit longer, but trying to like balance out the like amount of flash, I guess.
Flash or flash?
Both, I guess.
I agree with that.
We all want to look good when we go to a wedding. It's, it's a fun time and you get to get dressed up, but also it's not your day. So make sure you're not, I've seen some like very flashy wedding guest outfits before, and sometimes it's like a little bit cringy.
You don't want to be the person who's like showing off their whole legs and your back. That's like you need to be more dressed than being naked.
Am I allowed to wear my brand new Tom Ford tux that I got like this week to the wedding in February?
Yeah,
like I just went in and I was like, hey, so my buddy Barrett tried this on. Is there any way I can do this?
Yeah, it's just like when we were writing the dress code on the website, we tried to be as descriptive as possible. And I was basically trying to figure out a way to say that like it doesn't have to like formal gala. This is not. You can be a little slutty if you want to be.
Put it on the website.
But I didn't write. I did not write it that way.
Slutty.
But do people know that for like a black tie wedding? They're like this is a like.
Well, I think it depends on the couple. Like for y'all and where you're getting married, I think I know I can be a little slutty.
Yeah, like you like.
And I'm gonna have
feel
to be
like dress
because I'm gonna be
codes.
breastfeeding, so my boobs are gonna be out.
Like you asked earlier, I think you asked Laura, like, where's the first place you go for like when you see a wedding thing? Like, honestly, the first place that I go to is like the couple that's getting married.
Okay,
and I feel like I can pretty much know what they would be accepting of without having to think about it. And obviously, men have so many fewer decisions to make when it comes to going to a wedding.
Very much so.
But like, I know what I can get away with. Like, oh, I know this couple. They don't care if I wear a tie. Like, I know this couple, they definitely want me to be wearing a tie, and I cannot wear like fun loafers or anything.
Right. Like, you know that you can take a fashion risk going to Barrett and Laura's wedding versus like our friend. If you are going to a black tie wedding that's like going to be at a church and then at a country club, you're like, I got to stick to the more basic, like
that's a
muffy
good,
and mitzi dressing.
Yeah, venue is also definitely kind of like an indicator.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good chat.
All right, let's do it. Wish list items. Who wants to start us off today?
I'll start.
Okay.
Let's go, Sally.
Okay. As I have said, because of my current state, I will not probably be buying a clothing item this fall or coming winter.
I think Sally's about to hit us with the most expensive wish list item we've ever seen on this show.
I have been focused on
What I just saw on her phone is concerning.
bags and footwear. But then I thought, why limit it to that? Okay. And my car lease is coming up, the end of it. And I think I'm going to put imminent cop, the 2024 Lexus GX SUV.
Really?
Yeah.
You're putting a car in your wish list.
Yeah. I'm putting a car in my wish list.
I hope that this is truly an imminent cop because
I mean, I
want
do
this
too
car
from a
so
vibe
bad.
standpoint. I don't know from a
It's-
financial standpoint if this is
I posted.
something I need.
I just like. I'm not
I
a
think you reposted this when
something.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm not a Lexus guy, but this is like the best new release car of like the last decade.
Defenders
Like,
are
Yeah.
shaking.
this is so sexy.
I am a noted Lexus girl
Okay.
who currently drives a Mercedes. Our family were Lexus people. I switched over to the dark side, went to Mercedes, really loved my car. The issue with me getting this car, besides, the price and things like that, is that my lease is up in December and this doesn't release till like spring 2024. So I'm going to have a stopgap situation for a car that I need
Okay.
until I'm literally thinking of going to Lexus to be like, I'm going to lease a 2023 GX from you for 4 months. And then when the 2024 comes out, I want to up my shit.
There's probably a wait list for this, so you should. They probably will do something like that for you.
Yeah. That's my wish list item.
Well, this is making me feel like lame now. Put some loafers on there. Like, damn. Should we just go in order? Let's go counterclockwise. Are you done with your wish list item?
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys? We already kind of talked about this, but now I just need a decision from everybody here. I've been looking at these. My friend recently bought some Ame loafers that were in their summer collection. Thank you, Randy. And they recently released some more lug sole loafers,
yeah.
and I really like the upper of these. I really do. I like both colorways. I just think they're really sharp. I'm not a tassel person, but I think this could be my entrance into being a tassel person. Are the soles too much?
No, this is actually like lug sole light in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I know. It's just it's such a larger sole than what I'm used to that I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to do it.
I will say the heavy lug soles I was talking about are like
Yeah.
that.
Well, they're a
So
heeled
these-
lug sole.
Yeah.
Well, like the
those boots
90s
you
lug
have.
sole.
Yeah, they're like the 90s. This is to me this barely qualifies as
What-
a lug sole.
What are the name of the colors here, Barrett?
You have to add it to cart on ALD's website.
Very cool.
To find out.
Okay.
So I can do that.
Let's go like
But
green or mahogany.
Yeah, but I'm gonna push you. Well, no, I'm not gonna push you. I was gonna say the green tassel lug sole Doc Martens that I wore to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, do you want to twin or do you want to or do you want to not twin?
I'm just worried that I'm so green heavy in everything that I feel like this year it'll be a really good exercise for me to not buy green. And I feel like my backup color's been that like purple or mahogany, like that kind of thing. And
This
so
is-
Look at those colors, Will.
green and brown.
That what? How?
Oh man! And as a former person who used to upload colors and sizes and everything to the website, like they have the uppercase green and the lowercase brown. Like if that was on my watch, I would be yelling at someone like,
somebody
get
slipped.
those things
Somebody
the same.
slipped. And it's always like they're typically, it'll be a white and it'll be like parchment. Or a navy blue is like
Something
sky
just so
captain.
over the top. I can't believe we just got hit with
that there
green
is
and brown.
somebody behind the computer who is uploading all these things and absolutely furious that they just don't say white instead of parchment or whatever. like from my perspective, when I was
thought we were
doing
gonna
that,
get moss.
it was
and
hellish.
mahogany.
It was hellish to have to upload the different colors and then associate everything with them.
Genuinely though, I think this green is too green.
I do too. I do like the brown color. The brown has a little different. It's not just brown.
No,
It looks
has
maroonish.
It
It's
has-
got a little bit of that purple undertone.
Yeah.
To it.
I'm not sold on them, but I'm going to put it on my wish list. And if I have an excuse to get them, then I will go to them first. But it's not an imminent cop yet.
Yeah. No, this is a nice fall winter ad. This is like a winter version of your Belgian shoe.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think this would find a nice spot for you.
What do you got for us, Laura?
Okay, so my wish list item is the Bottega Veneta Jody bag in black. So bags are something I don't typically invest in, and I almost never buy.
Yeah,
so,
this is a shocking wish list ad.
No, it's not. It's something that I don't buy bags.
I
and
know
it's
we've been
always
together
a
for
gap.
9 years, and you've never shown an ounce of interest in a designer bag.
No, I'm always interested in them, but I've never kind of pulled trigger on them. So, honestly, like I've been seeing this one a lot, and it's simple, it's understated, but I think still really elegant and pretty in the way that it's been designed. But who knows if I'll ever actually spend $4,000 on a bag, and it's very conceivable that this bag will get swapped out for another designer bag on my wish list.
Well,
Devin
Barrett,
Brugman posted this exact bag yesterday,
Mm.
and she said it's the one she literally reaches for every day because it's like such a beautiful bag. The basket weave is gorgeous. I think you can really elevate this, but you could also just absolutely throw this over your shoulder and go to the grocery store. It's like such a quality.
It's really versatile for like a designer bag, which is also something that another reason why I never buy bags is because I feel like it's always for an occasion. And then I'm like, well, I can't wear this.
You can't just carry a clutch around.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a great bag. Great wish list item.
I approve. Barrett?
It's a nice bag.
Well, with Barrett and I always talk about how these lists are mainly like hoping that you guys will go look at our list around Christmas time.
Present,
Well,
wedding
hey, Barrett, now
present.
you have something you can go look at around Christmas time, my man.
Little wedding gift.
Yeah. Does it come in? Is this a large? Does it come in a small?
I think that is the small.
It
No,
comes in
this
insane
one's-
sizes. So there's the mini, there's the teen,
That one's
one's-
big.
there's
Well, it
the
says in the
small, and then
name.
there's the large is like a.
Oh yeah, you're right. It says just Jody's small bag, but the big must be huge then.
The big is huge.
Yeah.
How do you know
It's
so
like
much
a
about these?
suitcase.
Although
I
I'm
have-
not sure. That looks smaller than the one in the
Yeah.
photo, doesn't it?
Sally, you know a little too much about this one style of bag and how many sizes there are?
The mini is tiny. Like it is a clutch. It is meant for like taking as a clutch. It only is going to fit your iPhone and maybe like a lip gloss.
Hmm.
The teen is a little bit more like of what would be like a mid-size bag, and then the small is probably an oversized bag, and then the regular or the large is
Just like a
like the
tote.
Tom.
Tote.
What am I from Succession? What does he say? I can't.
Capacious.
Yes, a capacious handbag. That's what that is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I really struggled this week. I like Sally. I'm not sure if I joked about this on last week's pod or not, but I may not buy a single piece of clothing. or
You
shoes
definitely said this, and I still just
this season.
absolutely.
Can we get an over/under on that? Or
Yeah.
Well, like what? Yeah. What do you want to set the
Laura,
over under
if
at?
you
Things
see
that I
any
buy
boxes-
or date that I fold and purchase something.
I think things that you buy. I'm gonna go with 7.
If there's
And
any,
I'm
if there's
taking the
any
over.
boxes that come to your place, please just send me a photo of the box and just let me know that Barrett has purchased something so that I can expose him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Ro-
will
rookies.
do.
Rookies. You think I have stuff
Yeah,
sent to the house?
he
True.
sends it to the office, so I
That's
didn't
true.
see them.
It's true.
He's got a PO box just for that.
If you could just send me a daily photo of his trunk, that'd be great too.
But so I struggled because I'm actively trying not to put things on wish lists right now. But so this is a total just like throwing it on the wish list because it's something that I'm like generally thinking about. But if you followed along with me for any number of years, then you know that like I'm a leather jacket boy through and through.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
And so the fall of the leather jacket over the last few years has been tough for me. Moving to like work jackets, chore jackets, fleece, like all that type of stuff has just come in and totally taken over. But they're sort of back now. They're on their way back. And what's happening is that it's not the moto, it's not a bomber. It's like this it's taking the silhouette of like the work jackets of like of a collar and just a straight zipper. Nothing ribbed around the waist or at the cuffs, just a very like it's what I call like a blouson cut. And that's the look right now for a leather jacket. So I'm going to add this one from a Korean brand that I really like called Anderson Bell. It's got like some aged seam details on it, and it's just really kind of classic and basic. It's under $1,000 as well, so it's not insane for a leather jacket.
What's a normal leather jacket cost?
No, the
I mean,
ranges.
yeah, I mean, like you're in a good price point for like decent quality at like I would say $700 to $1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of what I would expect. I mean, I've never owned a leather jacket.
You can find stuff that's like not bad at like Banana Republic or some other brands.
Mhm.
It's like $400 or $500 as well, and then obviously like there is a jillion choices at 2,000 plus.
Okay.
So I actually think that women's fashion has the leather jackets are really in right now for women. But again, this is back to like, where am I going to wear like an oversized leather jacket ever in Texas? This makes a lot more sense for me for someone
Mhm.
in our climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, what I really want, like what it's just like a vagary that I have on my wish list is a leather blazer. Like that's
Yeah.
what I really want, but there's not one out there that
You don't want the Matthew McConaughey leather blazer that he wears to games?
I mean, I'll have that one, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
the,
But
like-
Does he
I
have the
would like
tassels underneath it?
No, but it's like a saddle color that he
Yeah.
legitimately
Yeah.
like wears
Oh,
to games.
yeah. You don't have to tell me that.
he'll wear that thing in any degrees as well.
He
Like,
definitely wore it
yeah.
at the first game, I think.
That
That thing's seen some sweat.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure it smells lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, if a blazer drops that looks good and that's what will really send me and have me like going through the withdrawal
Yeah.
this season. 'Cause
I'm excited to
that's-
see this
that's-
on you this
that's what I want.
around the Thanksgiving this year when you've eventually bought it and you're just wearing all the new
He
clothes. that
saw
you
it on
bought.
sale.
Yeah.
He had to go.
I can't wait till the day you break.
I mean, look, the SN sale starts in like mid to late November.
See, it's concerning you even know this stuff. Like you
that-
need to get this information out of your head.
Forward's having 20% off right now.
Who is?
Forward today.
Oh, yeah. See, yeah.
This episode will not have aired, but the rest of September 13th, Forward is having a sale.
You know that the websites are down bad though when they're offering 20% on the new stuff in September.
Correct.
Like this is September.
Correct.
This is when people are making inadvisable full price purchases because they want to like get their hands on stuff.
Now's the
and,
time to
like,
get reckless.
Yeah, right. So and you got to offer 20% right now. I don't know.
No.
That all that tells me is that the big sales in November will be
Big.
big.
Sounds to me like they're going backward.
So
Okay.
that one took me a second.
Oh, I think on that note, on that dad joke, I think we might need to exit the situation. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. This was a
Yes.
blast.
Wonderful
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It was
I
fun.
think we'll see you guys next week.
Are you ready to do this again? Just come back on the reg. How was it?
It was great.
Yeah, you got to
Good.
fill in for me on paternity leave.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
it'll be Laura and Barrett just chatting about wedding style.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.